Well, I was asked from Ranghild some months ago to speak about friendship, partnership, sexuality, and PWS. It is really a lot to speak about this issue. And so today we cannot face all the questions and we cannot speak a lot about it, but I would like to mark it and to open the discussion. Why we choose this issue? In the early 19s, the results of the genetic and medical PWS research were remarkable. We learned a lot about growth hormone. We have a lot more experience about food management, about physical therapy and activity, about orthopedic therapies, about speech therapy, about behavior management, etc. So we can really speak about a success in the story of PWS research and management. The quality of life of our children improved a lot in the last 20 years. We know about the main feature, the primary features of PWS: hypertonia, hyperphagia, obesity, short stature, learning difficulties, speech difficulties, behavior problems, and of course, hypergonadism. Hypergonadism, what does that mean? We know about it, but we should know that due to the diagnosis of hypergonadism, a child with PWS will begin puberty, but not complete it. It is known as a precocious puberty. The reaction in the PWS world until recently was relieved. The attitude, we are spared of this problem, is still common. We know PWS boys or young men will not father a child. We know that PWS females rarely conceive. So why bother with sex education? Individuals with PWS are infertile and therefore asexual? Not at all. It's a big error. The emotional possibilities and the desire of a sexual or marital relationship is really quite normal. Louise Greenswag, one of the pioneers, the great pioneers in PWS research, she died 218 in Iowa, USA. She wrote an important book about management of Prader-Willi syndrome. And there she notes, as the lifespan of a person with Prader-Willi syndrome lengthens, psychosexual growth, development, and education become legitimate concerns for parents and other care providers. And this is 25 years ago. Well, what are we trying to speak about today? I would like to say some words about hypergonadotropic hypergonadism, although I am not an endocrinologist. In infancy and in adolescence and adulthood, we will look about the social skills and PWS by contrast to the social disturbance. We will look about the physical maturation and what is different in PWS, and some thoughts about sex education, a little guidance, what can we do, how can we act, and I will show you some selected examples of selected material. The hypogonadotropic hypogonadism shows the levels of sex hormones, estrogen in women and testosterone in men. The hypogonadotropic hypogonadism is a complicated interaction between hormones from the hypothalamus here in the brain and the pituitary. It's a small organ in the brain, and the ovaries of the women and the testes of the men. And this regulates the level of sex hormone. Really a very complicated system. Due to the diagnosis of hypogonadism, the child with PWS will show in infancy small or underdeveloped external genitalia. In boys, we know the small penis and the undescended testes. Baby boys and young boys normally nowadays have a surgery to descend the testes. In girls, we know about the underdeveloped vulva and clitoris. This fact is normally ignored, often ignored. In teens and adults with PWS, the sexual maturation is normally delayed. They have an incomplete, but sexual maturity in PWS can occasionally be normal. There are little and few occasions that it is normal. The pubertal growth spurt does not occur. We can meet individuals with PWS with a stature of 1 meter, but they are about 18, 20 years old. Nowadays, with the help of the growth hormone, it doesn't occur anymore. That's why the individuals are treated with growth hormone. Hormonal therapy is best accomplished by an endocrinologist, but he must be familiar with PWS. We have to think about that PWS teens may suffer embarrassment as they compare themselves to their peers because of their incomplete or absent sexual development. Can you understand me? Can you hear me, follow me well? Yes. Yeah. Well, sex hormone therapy, what does it mean? In boys, they are treated with testosterone to effect first the development of the penis, then the change of the voice, hair and beard growth, change of body composition, and a very important thing is avoidance of osteoporosis, also in men. We have to be careful that the effect of testosterone may be affect on mood and behavior. So it is important to have an endocrinologist to know what dose he considers. Girls are treated with estrogen to affect growth of the breast, to start a normal menstruation. This could be important for the self-determination of the young women. And of course, the avoidance of osteoporosis. It is well known the risk, but not only in Prader Willi, the thromboembolism, the breast cancer, and mood variations. It has to be considered. So an individualized approach to hormone therapy is really key. But we also have to know that the treatment with estrogen and testosterone will not improve fertility. This, as parents, is our worry. Fertility is one of the biggest worries. However, sex hormone replacement may be important for development and adult appearance, for bone mineral density, and improve muscle and organ function. This is one of the important aspects, the muscle and organ functions, because we know they are not very well developed. Altogether leads to really an improved quality of life. So far, until now, we know about 4 pregnancies of PWS women worldwide. 2 pregnancies have produced normal children, and 2 produced children with Angelman syndrome. It's also a defect on the 15 chromosome. And the present age of men with PWS who are capable of ejaculation is unknown. And there have been no reports of fertility in men with PWS. So please, if you know in your community about especially men who are fertile or who have erections, please report it to the International Scientific Advisory Board. They are very interested. Also about, if you know about pregnancies of women. Okay, so let's start to talk about some thoughts about sex education. Due to the growth hormone therapy and the sexual hormone therapy, which is also usual nowadays, the symptoms of the hypogonadotropic hypogonadism are not so explicit anymore. But the day-to-day life with an individual with PWS teaches us how important it is to focus this issue. We parents have noticed that our youngsters with PWS develop an interest in opposite sex early. They are very interested in to be single or in a relationship in Facebook. They love to make datings. They like very much romantic movies. They are very happy to write or receive love letters. They speak a lot about pregnancy. They think a lot of marriage and creating a family, etc. To watch this aspect of our children make us smile. It is so cute to observe their innocent views and how they imagine their possible relationship. A psychologist, a German psychologist, maybe you know him, Norbert Stuntebeck-Hödebeck, said one day that PWS individuals have a more optimistic and unrealistic perspective of relationship. But also they may recognize one day that there is more behind a romantic part of life. Especially when they get in touch with the difficulties and challenges of a relationship and the possibilities to realize their own future. Consequences could be the experience of loneliness, lovesickness, jealousies, and other disappointments. Even emotional and physical abuse beside the PWS limitation is possible. What is the outcome? Stress. Stress means weight gain, skin picking, temper tantrums, emotional pressure, and so on. A young person with PWS has a limited opportunity to share all these important experiences and to learn from each other, to explore the sexual and emotional life, to go through these up and downs with a peer group, what is normal. So our mission as parents, teachers, caregivers must face the problem and help our PWS youngsters. I collected some questions and expressed concerns of persons with PWS, and I will show you just a few of them. Boys, young men with PWS, can people that have the Prader Willi syndrome, can they one day be a parent? Yes or no? Can you send me info about genotropin? I really want to have kids with my girlfriend when I get married to her. Or will this disease make me sterile? What is the special kind of medicine for producing sperm? I want to get married and have my own family. I am one of them who can produce sperm. I had a normal erection. I just wanted to have them stronger. Thanks. Do I need sex hormone replacement therapy? And what do they do with me? A question of a mother. My son with PWS got involved with a girl. She invited him to her bed. It didn't work at all. He is so miserable. He has erections from time to time, but he says that it is all dry. His penis is small, but not tiny. Our boys can function sexually at all. Are they able to intercourse? Why do I need sex hormone therapy? Look, I'm normal. A young boy. With my love affairs, I feel overwhelmed. So much love sickness. And just to think about some questions and concerns of females, of girls. I am engaged to someone. I need education in sexual matters. What can I do? What am I allowed to do? When we make love, do I have to take care? Do I have to take the pill? Or what can I do when I feel molested? What about getting pregnant? What is in vitro fertilization? How does it work? Where is my clitoris? I cannot find it. To orgasm is when the bed moves a lot. I love so much when he lies on me. He cannot be my boyfriend. He is not able to. Well, these are all questions and concerns what make us think about their problems, and they really ask for answers. Let's speak about the social skills of PWS persons. They are friendly, trusting, alert, interested, helpful, caring, sociable. They have a pronounced sense of justice. They are communicative, smart, positive, motivated, self-confident, adventurous, unafraid, humorous. This can expect a quite lucky social life. But we also know about the social incompetence. We know very well that PWS common symptoms block, impair, and prevent the skills. their physical limitation, and the behavior patterns like egocentrism, dominance, diminished perspective converting, their lack of impulse control. Most, they are manipulative, they show stubbornness. We know about lying, stealing, lack of empathy, diminished problem solving, and so on. In addition to these problems, we can see a one-sided interrelation. On one side, mother or father, and on the other side, the child, or the therapist and the child. We know also about a history of negative experience with peers, about mobbing, bullying, stalking, and about social isolation. So we know about, on one side, the social skills, and on the other side, the social incompetence. And this is a huge challenge to manage, the source of stress. The PWS physical maturity needs a special sex education because there is a tension between physical maturity, their knowledge, their social skills, and their psychosocial conditions. It is important to treat a PWS teen the same as their peers, but with adaptations in order to avoid isolation and de-emphasize differences. In school, they speak a lot about self-education. I think in Norway, like in Austria and in Europe. PWS teens, they know that they are different in many aspects. They have learned to manage their life despite their hungry feeling. They learned how to manage their poor motor skills. They have different cognitive abilities, temper tantrums, etc. They are really aware that they are different in their sexual development. But we can ask ourselves, what do they really know? There's a nice sentence that says to be different is all right too. Important is the acceptance of the own individuality, to find an answer who I am, and to know I am okay just as I am. So what can we do? First of all, we should be alert. We really should speak and discuss with them. We should educate. And if we are not able to educate, we can look for education. We can provide professional help. And important to combine the behavior management and sex education to improve the sense of self, the awareness of others, the switch of focus, etc. And how can we act? First, educate ourselves. And in the back of our mind, we should remember the different needs of PWS. There's a strong need for bodily contact. You know that. Their hypotonia and the little motor skills lead to a sensitivity of contact. They have a very high perception of nature of ground. I think you know that. And they are really very, very touchy. What else can we do? We can promote social education, to look that they have somebody to care for, to have a pet, to be with animals, to look for friends, partners, babies. I remember a story of this young boy, and he was so depressed, really in a big depression, because he couldn't father a child. And so his father had the good idea to make him to a godfather. And he was so happy to have this little baby in his arms and to be responsible for it. And it helped him a lot to go out of the depression. We could also provide social events, parties, dancing, moments to play together. Oh, there are a lot of possibilities. In the workshops I did with caregivers, with parents, etc., there was a big demand, a great demand for a PWS occasional booklet. There is a lot of material for sex education, also for handicapped people. But until now, there is no material or a booklet for PWS sexual education. When you work in your groups, you should think about 3 important points. First, to speak about sexual characteristics, who I am, and opposite, who is my partner. I will show you some worksheets. Sorry. You can work out a questionnaire, and PWS persons, they like very much to handle worksheets. They have something to do. This is example, my dream man. On one side, you have the characteristics of yourself, and on the other side, you have the characteristics of your dream partner. This is another example of a worksheet. The self perception. It is interesting how a person with PWS perceives himself. Also, you should ask if they are comfortable speaking about, and then you can speak why and why not. It helps a conversation. You can ask them for their experiences, boyfriends, with partners, if they have experiences in smooching, kissing, cuddling, to look where their stage is. It is also important to inform them what is sexuality. In a short answer, you can say, it is to know and show that I like my partner. You can look for positive examples, how you can live sexuality, and negative, concrete. Important is to be concrete and not to speak in symbols or nice pictures. To speak about sexuality is also important to express one's likes, but also the dislikes. And important to accept the likes and dislikes of the partner. Helpful are role playings, wish lists, also video presentation, or to film each other, Well, in the sexual education, there is a lot of material in this world. You should also promote the actual partnership. Normally or often they have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. So speak what they are doing. They are speaking or dreaming together. Speak about sex, erotism, and exchange the discussion of experience. You can watch together romantic movies and then discuss it. You can show also sexploitation movies and tell and reflect their own experience in your own sexual life. This is another example for practice with partners. It is also the perception of oneself and the partner. The partner lays down on the big piece of paper, and then you form the outline of the body. And after that, you can color it. Green, these are the points I like, the spots, the sensitive spots. And in red, these are the spots I don't like. And then you can mark also the special sexual marks. A very nice practice is the so-called pizza baker. Especially PWS persons, they like to imagine your partner as a pizza. The body is the duff, so you work the duff, you roll it out, you put tomato sauce on it and olives and champions and cheese, and finally they put it softly into the oven. They like it very much. Well, to learn about sexuality is to learn especially we love each other. The methods is not so important. Important is we have to take care that we can really enjoy each other. It is a nice lyrics. Worthy now, not if, not when. We are worthy of love and belonging now. Cannot see it. Maybe you see the lyrics, I cannot see it. Yes. We have not time today in our session to speak about very important other topics, but you should discuss them. The self-determination and the danger of abuse with boys and girls. You should speak about online security. Very often our young PWS boys and girls, they have their own handies, mobile phones, and they are surfing in the internet and they are confronted with so many things. You should speak about it with them. You should also speak about pornography. They are confronted with it, but they don't know what it is. And maybe they think this is a reality show. Because of their experiences in relationship and the conflicts, you should speak and discuss about reconciliation. What can we do after separation? Another important topic is to live childless. Most Prader-Willis, they have to live childless. So try to begin early to speak about social values. What is the social role of a woman? What is the social role of a man? You can start this issue also in kindergarten. A real woman is not only a woman who has children, for example. I would like to improve you to make workshops, to speak with the peers. If it is co-educational or not, it depends. I think both things are possible. So, more or less, this is the end of my presentation, and I would like to invite you to ask some questions. I have 2 little sessions of a video I would like to present you, but maybe first you will ask some questions. I try to answer. Thank you.
We have a couple of questions. The first one is, do you have any experience with sterilization of girls with PWS?
Sorry, it's with?
Sterilization of girls with PWS.
Well, that is a very bad topic. Yeah, many parents, they are so afraid of fertilization that they get pregnant. But PWS individuals, they have so less possibilities to get pregnant. So a sterilization is really the last thing you could do.
Okay. I see. The next question is, I will try it in English. Do you have any experience with PWS children that has been abused or taken advantage of? They understand what they have been exposed to in the same way the children that don't have PWS? And also, how do you discover it, since they may not tell you in the same way?
Yeah, I think we have to act in the same way like other children. I think it's very important also with other children to speak about the possibilities of abuse. But in Prader Willi, they are so naive. Yes, you understand the word naive? Yeah. And they are so wishing to have a partner that they cannot differ between a good and a bad person. And I also know about stories, food for sex. Yeah. So to prevent this, the best thing is to educate your children.